Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to dive deep into something that might not sound super exciting at first. Company policies and procedures.
Yeah, not exactly a beach read, right?
But stick with us because this stuff is way more important than you might think.
Especially if you're in the construction world.
Oh yeah, big time. We're talking about building a career the right way and
Really just navigating any system at work.
absolutely. And our guide for this deep dive is the Gold Seal Training Series.
Good stuff.
Specifically, the section on communicate clearly and ethically. And just a quick reminder for anyone who's new to this, the Gold Seal certification.
That's a pretty big deal in Canada.
Huge. It's like a mark of excellence for construction professionals, showing they really know their stuff.
Not just ticking boxes, but understanding why things are done a certain way.
Exactly. So let's get into it. Why is it so important to follow those company policies and procedures, especially in a field like construction?
Well, think about a construction project. It's complicated, right?
Oh, yeah. So many moving parts.
You've got tons of people involved, tight deadlines, and budgets that can be
Whoa, yeah.
astronomical.
Crazy.
And it all has to come together without a hitch. And without clear guidelines, well, things can go wrong pretty quickly.
Definitely. I've heard some real horror stories about projects gone off the rails. What kind of risks are we talking about here?
We're talking about everything. Safety violations that lead to people getting hurt, budget overruns that bring the whole project to a screeching halt, and even legal disputes that can drag on for years.
Oof, yeah.
And you know what? A lot of times, these problems all come down to a lack of clarity or accountability, and that's where good policies come in.
It's all about setting things up right from the start.
Right.
Like that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
100%. And our source material really emphasizes this when it comes to safety standards.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right?
Okay.
We're not just talking about wearing hard hats here.
Exactly. Definitely not. We're talking about handling dangerous materials, operating heavy machinery, the whole 9 yards. And if you don't follow the rules, the consequences can be
Yeah, serious stuff.
life-changing, even.
It's easy to think of safety regulations as just bureaucratic red tape.
Right, just a bunch of hoops to jump through.
But when you consider the human cost of not following them, well, it's just not worth cutting corners.
Absolutely. And, beyond the physical safety stuff, there's this whole other aspect that the source material digs into.
Ethical communication.
Yeah, that's the one. It might seem kind of vague at first, but
I can see how that could be tricky in construction.
especially when you're dealing with big contracts and legal stuff, things need to be crystal clear. There's a great example in the source material about the notices and writing clause in CCDC contracts.
Okay, gotta be honest, I'm not really up on my CCDC contracts. What's that all about?
So CCDC stands for the Canadian Construction Documents Committee. They're the folks who put together the standard contracts used across Canada.
Ah, got it. So it's like the rule book for how construction projects should run.
Precisely. And these contracts are super detailed, laying out everything about everyone's responsibilities.
Sounds thorough.
It is. And the notices and writing clause is all about making sure everything is properly documented.
Makes sense.
So if there's ever a disagreement or a question down the line, everyone can look back and see exactly what was agreed upon.
Prevents any he said, she said situations, right?
Exactly. And it actually ties into the financial side of things, too.
Ah, yeah. Money always makes things.
A little more complicated.
A little bit.
Yeah, keeping track of finances on a construction project is crucial. Imagine if payments weren't tracked accurately. Contractors wouldn't get paid on time. Suppliers might get stiffed. The whole project could come to a standstill.
Yikes. That's the last thing anyone wants.
Definitely. And the source material talks about a specific document, the CCDC-9, which plays a big role in all this.
Okay, what's CCDC-9?
CCDC-9 is a statutory declaration of payment distribution. It's a legal document used here in Canada to make sure everything is transparent when it comes to how money's being used on a project.
So basically, it's like a system of checks and balances to make sure everyone's playing by the rules.
You got it. It keeps everyone accountable and helps ensure everyone gets paid what they're owed.
I like it.
Builds trust, keeps things moving smoothly.
You know, this whole conversation is making me think about all the different systems we operate in, even outside of construction.
It's everywhere.
Totally. Like, have you ever been in a situation where things went sideways because there wasn't clear communication or maybe some expectations weren't written down?
Oh, all the time. It's a universal experience.
It really is. And it just highlights why having these, maybe sometimes seemingly boring policies and procedures is actually so important.
They really are. They provide the framework for clear communication, ethical conduct, financial accountability.
It's about setting everyone up for success, isn't it?
100%. And when those systems are in place, you create a culture of professionalism and trust that benefits everyone involved.
Love that. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive, but here's a little something to ponder. Think about your own work. Are there any maybe like unwritten rules or ways of doing things that could benefit from being a little bit more clarified, maybe even written down? It might seem small, but it could make a big difference in how effectively things run.
Get your
And
peace of mind, too.
absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this exploration. Hopefully you see company policies and procedures in a whole new light. See you next time.